Hey folks, this is Doc V and Miss Roxy Pena
Roxy.
in
Hey
the
guys.
house. Yes, here with Soul Healing TV. We are so excited to be here this evening to just have conversation, good conversation about an exciting topic that I'm sure a lot of you are going to want to hear about. That has to do with just motherhood, parenthood, um, your connection to your child,
Mhm.
planning for not only the family financial future, but that child, and so on and so forth. So, before we get jump in, Roxy, what do you want to say to the folks today?
Hi guys, and welcome back. Welcome back. And yes, I'm excited for today's session just because we're giving you really good essential strategies and tips on how we could help our kids, be better than us, do better than us in the long run whenever it comes to, just their daily habits and finances and all of the above.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely,
excited.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's so important. It's so important, sis. Because as we grow, as we learn, we get educated. We need to pass on that knowledge, right? Because
Yes.
the world is constantly changing, and there are some basic foundational principles that tend to get lost in
Mhm.
in working families, and just the hubbub that most everyday folks have to deal with. There's
The
not an opportunity.
society in general, just the computer technology, their phones, their tablets, kids could get
Absolutely.
lost really fast in that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And all of that and all of that. Okay, so
Mhm.
folks, we thank you. We know you guys have been wanting to hear back from us. We did take a little bit of time off to get through all the graduations.
Yes,
Roxy had a beautiful daughter graduate, Kaylee.
yes, yes, she
Yeah,
did, my
yeah,
baby.
yeah, girl. How
Mhm.
did you do surviving that?
Ugh, I'm glad it's over. That it's over the planning and all that's over. But now it's planning for the future. Like I need to practice what I preach. I sat down with her the other day and going through because she is going to start college. I'm so excited for that. Just going through the steps with her, going to the college with her and signing her up. That was like bittersweet moment. Like I walked out, I was like, oh my God. She just gave me a big old hug and I started crying.
Oh,
I'm just an emotional person. I can't help it. But she's such a sweet soul and I
yeah.
love how she is. I really, really do. So I
Yeah.
know she's gonna have an exciting journey on
Yeah.
whatever she wants to do and whatever she wants to become. I'm gonna be here for her regardless of whatever
Yes,
she wants to
ma'am.
do.
Yes, ma'am. And you have a lot to do with that. So
Amen. I have
pat yourself
everything.
on the back.
Yes. She seen me through it all. And I'm glad she did though, because she learned. She's learning still. And I always tell her, just be better than me. Be
Yeah,
better.
yeah, so extraordinary.
She's seeing my growth, shall I
Yeah,
say.
yeah, I love that too.
Mhm.
And the fact that you're so open about that, right? Because I think a lot of
Mhm.
times, as parents,
Not too open, but
you tend to want to hide certain things from your children or not share certain things, or you want to present a certain
yeah.
picture or what have you to your children. You know,
Yeah.
and oftentimes, some of the realness gets lost in the fray.
Yeah.
You know,
No, she knows. She knows what it is.
yeah.
She knows what it is.
Yeah, she does. And she's extraordinary. So she'll
Yeah,
obviously
she is,
she
and
has an
she knows the
extraordinary mom.
difference between right and wrong,
Yeah.
and that's what I love, and that's a big thing.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
really big thing. That's a whole nother topic right there too.
Yeah. Girl, look, because we're jotting down topics.
Yeah,
So we're just gonna
it's all the time.
keep jotting them down. Yeah,
Yes.
and she already has a job, so she's
Mhm.
working before graduation, so she's
Yeah.
learning about fiscal responsibility, finances, all that stuff, and I
Oh
definitely
yeah,
talk about that.
saving. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's going into what the first thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
The first things first is having the kids just understand the basics
Yeah.
of finances, which is just budgeting, you know, writing down how much income they're getting in and then what are they spending on,
Yeah.
and knowing the difference between an asset and a liability. And I say that because it's crazy, because the other day I had a conversation with an individual that's my age, and I asked that individual,
Mm-hmm.
do they know the difference? And they never even heard of that terminology, and they're my age. So
Mm.
And then another situation just the other day at work, I heard a young kid was like running by to his friend, well, he's like a teenager, was like, what does deposit mean? My dad said he deposited something into my Apple Pay and supposed to deposit it into my bank. What does that mean? Like,
Mm,
and he's a teenager, like, so just the basics of the terminology of deposits. What is a checking? What is a savings
yeah.
account? What is the interest rate you're getting on savings account? You know, those
Yeah.
basic things. The little things is what we need to know, even how to count back change.
Yeah.
How to count back change.
Absolutely. And understanding that nothing is a dumb question, or
Yeah,
lack of
definitely.
knowledge isn't commentary on your ability to learn or to, be able to
Yeah.
do something. It's a lack of exposure, a lack of
Yes.
experience,
And that falls into the phones and the tablets. Everyone is so into social media and just watching everyone's else life in front of them instead of trying to educate themselves on their own lives and what they need to learn in society.
Yeah.
You go to restaurants and see kids, their work ethic is very low right now. They don't want to do a lot because they're not used to it. They're not outside these days. Everybody's inside and on phones. So
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, and
total
there's
different.
no joy, there's no passion there, it's really a sad state of affairs, that we're seeing this, and it's not just, locally, it's all across the country, all
Yeah.
across the world,
Yes.
so yeah, let's get into that. Let's talk about, financial education, preparation, planning, and just being open also to transformation, just personal development, and
Yeah. And
that
I
connects
know
to our
a lot
soul
of
growth.
parents
Mhm.
probably don't know it. A lot
Yeah.
of parents don't know. And it's good if they don't know, learn it with your kid. Teach your kid and
Yes.
learn it at the same time.
Yes.
I've had to do that. Like I was helping Kaylee with the financial aid package again,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's been so long since I've done it. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, let's read it one by one. Teach
Right.
ourselves. It's even Emery's math stuff. I'm like, I don't know this stuff. She's in sixth grade, going to seventh. And just that, like, teach
Yeah.
yourself too while you're teaching your kids. It's
Yeah.
always a good learning process.
And that is so good, just doing more with our children, because I know
Mhm.
back in the day, there was this big thing about, kids staying out of grown folks' business, right? And
Yeah.
and I get that to a certain degree, about certain things, but there's certain aspect and there are particular things of grown folks' business that kids need to
Yeah.
learn, how to
Yeah.
be a responsible, physically responsible, socially responsible,
Polite.
polite adult, what social grace is. Girl, you say that to anybody, they're like, what is
Yeah.
that? What is
Yeah,
social
having
grace?
manners, saying yes,
Manners.
ma'am, no, ma'am, opening the door,
Yeah.
help an elderly go
Yeah.
first before you have the basic manners. Whenever I tell somebody, oh, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, they're like, don't say that I'm not old. And I'm like, it's not that oh, I have manners. Like my mom would, want to slap me across the face if I didn't say it,
Right.
but these kids, they say, huh, and what, and bro, and I'm like, oh no, it's
Yeah.
sad because just those basics that we were taught, you don't see it a lot. You don't see a lot of these kids
Yeah.
at
And
all
it's
like
and,
that.
and it's a time and a place,
It's
for everything, right? For certain things, or for your, like your slang
Mhm.
language, or those informalities, right? But
Yes, yes,
when you need to be on point with certain things, or you need to know how to go in and out of different rooms, communication, right? And normally those rooms,
yes.
and let's just keep it real and talk about it, normally
Communication.
those rooms are attached to some type of socioeconomic status, right? Or being able to go in and out
Yeah.
of,
Mhm.
your everyday hangout situation to a more flexible, fluent, being able to talk the language and understand things like assets and liabilities. which at the heart of, so many circumstances,
Mhm.
condition is the lack of finances or financial knowledge and wisdom. You want to talk about that a little bit, sis?
Yeah. Yeah, just again, just going back to the first, just the lack of not understanding the basics of the checking, the savings, knowing the difference between a debit card and a credit card. That's a big thing too, because I even had to teach Kaylee that. And nothing's a dumb question. I think it's cute that they don't know it, and we gotta know that no, they don't know it. So this is where we come in without getting angry, without calling them names. Like, are you,
Yeah,
don't be so sarcastic with something that they don't know. That we got to teach them. They're sponges
absolutely.
already. So we have
Absolutely.
to teach them these things. Yes.
Yeah, well, and and when it comes to that, a lot of times I think the sarcasm comes and it's unconscious to the person, the parent, or that that role figure who does retort in such a way, because they may not know, quite frankly,
Yeah.
they may not understand, and instead of saying, hey, let me get back to you with that, or researching it, or learning, or referring them to someone who might, it's dealing with that. And let's jump into that piece. The soul hurts, the soul healing that needs to happen in that area for people, because a lot
Mhm.
of us coming from broken homes or what have you.
Aggressiveness, then you
Yeah.
come off aggressive. Oh, I have
Mhm.
plenty of people that I know that I hear the way they talk to their kids or how the kids talk to them. And then I'm like, don't do that. Like, there's certain ways to say it. Like, why y'all have to jump? Why do you have so much animosity? Like, just talk right. It's not that serious. But they just are used to that aggressiveness and it's like nothing to them. And it's just,
Mhm.
some people just don't realize how they're talking or, I being in insurance in the industry, I learned more about the tones and the terminology
Mhm.
and how to raise and lower your voice and
Yeah.
certain aspects, like you said, of where we
Yeah.
talking, where we're presenting, where if I'm on a phone, if I'm talking to my friends, I always have different tones. So yes, I've learned that. So hearing everybody and hearing them talk. So whenever the kids are talking to their parents crazy, I'm like, don't be talking like that. And I'll be getting on, I don't even know the person. I'll be getting on them.
Right.
I
Well,
do.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's go there too in that whole conversation, because I know back in the day, as I was growing up or what have you, when you would change your voice or your tone with in certain situations or conversations, people would be like, oh, you're being fake, you're being phony. No, it's not about
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
about knowing how to transition,
Yeah.
what's going to be received better, knowing when you need to be
Mhm.
professional, when you can just,
Yeah.
not be. Um,
Yep.
so, and I think a lot of those comments again come from that lack of knowledge, exposure, that soul hurt. Oftentimes we become very prideful also over our situation or circumstance. Instead of
Mhm.
trying to embrace the positive, we embrace what we know, that comfortability,
Mhm.
and we try to make it, of a greater statue over something else. You know, that's how you get a lot of the intolerance, that's in the book
Mhm.
also. It's because of fear,
Aggressiveness. Yeah.
internal fear, that soul hurt again from
Mhm.
lack, whether it's a lack of finances, lack of exposure to difference, to diverse populations, and what
Yeah.
have you. We want to embrace what we know, and the fear, and anything that looks different or is different or that we don't know,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Stay open-minded.
yeah,
That's what I
becomes the
tell
enemy.
everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Stay open-minded and learn more. Don't be complacent and do the same thing. And it's hard. It's easier said than done, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if you don't know, especially whenever the kids or the parents or the kids see the parents on doing this all day long.
Hmm.
And that's it. If they see it happening, they're gonna do it too. Or if you're getting brushed off or handing the kids the tablets to go over there, then that's all they're gonna know.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're just, yeah. So just changing your ways around your kids, changing how you are as an individual, to help your kids do better. That's just the main key. And that's my next tip is just
Yeah.
ask them what their goals are for the future and how do they expect to get there, and
Yeah,
set a plan, set a short term, a midterm, and a long term goal.
I like
You know,
it.
have them set it up themselves if they want, like, what kind of car do they want? So, and
Mhm.
how much is this car? Okay, well, how are we going to get that much money? What do we need to save to get there?
Mhm.
Put aside an emergency fund, whether it be a month, 2 months to 6 months.
Mhm.
Because if they do get out of college and want to go on a trip, that's fine, but you need to have that extra money just in case you,
Right.
excuse my dog. She's trying to get in.
No, I can't
Yeah,
hear her.
okay, good. She's over here
It's
trying to get
okay.
inside.
She's so
Um,
cute.
making sure y'all have that extra money for emergencies, just in case you need to change the tire real quick, or you're about
Right.
to run out of something, just to have that money aside.
Yeah.
Again, that's easier said than done. I had to learn all of this myself. And it's never too late to do it, but just have those goals in place for your kids, have them set it for themselves.
Mhm.
Um, just to know what they need to get there, if they want to get their own apartment later, you know, their
Right.
education, what do we need to set up to the side, if you can, because not everybody could get financial aid. You
Mm,
know, we got to pay out of pocket too. So you got
yeah.
to understand what you have to do. And if you do have to get a loan, you got to understand how the loans work, how
Yeah.
much interest rate you're getting, and how to set up a payment plan, and what do you need to put to the side for that payment plan. So it's just
Right.
direction,
Yeah,
direction.
yeah, and and that requires also, just vision, looking at
Mhm.
the big picture, because we often just operate in our daily existence, right? We don't
Yes.
think about the future. Until it's on top of us, and then it's like we're rushing to figure it out, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So, putting these things in place, starting with your students, your child at a younger age, even eighth, ninth grade, that's not too young. They need to
Mhm.
be learning these things
Even better.
already.
Yeah,
Let them
yeah,
enjoy their
knowing that.
childhood, but start
Mhm.
planting the seeds, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, most definitely. I have because I work at the store, and I have a lady goes in with her kids all the time,
Mhm.
and she already gave them all a credit card. So they all use it. And this little boy was crying one time because the slushy was $1.50. He did not want to spend it. Girl, he said, put that
That
slushy
baby.
back. I don't want it. The youngest one. And Anne Marie does that too, because I taught
Yeah.
her how to budget and what not to spend. So she's like, Mom, that's $3. I don't want it.
I
Like,
love her.
like
I
it's
love
so much,
her.
but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
seeing that, that's good. That's knowing how to budget, knowing what to spend it on and what not to spend it on, what you
Right,
can. And then, like you said, start planning for the future.
right,
We don't think about our retirement until we're about to retire, which is a
right.
lot of, so if you start earlier, the
Mm-hmm.
sooner, the sooner the better. It's because whenever you're younger, you're healthy, your
Mm-hmm.
premiums are going to be a lot lower than you
Yes.
are whenever you get older. Plus, you will really receive the benefits and see the benefits of compound interest
Mm,
whenever you start at a younger age. And
yeah.
you will see whatever tools that you get in that has compound interest build for you. And that's where the infinite banking comes in. That's where you become your own bank, and you could borrow from your own money tax free. And
Yeah.
so that's another one that we got to talk about again, because
Yeah.
there's so many different retirement plans out there,
Mhm.
like 401s, the traditional IRAs, the Roth IRAs, annuities, mutual funds, CDs, 403Bs, 403As, like the
Yeah, yeah,
pension plans. There's so much out
yeah,
there. They're all they're all they're all made to do the same thing, but they're all made different, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, it makes
just
great sense. Yeah, and it's a lot, sis, because as you're spitting all that out, right? I've heard of all these things, but my head is even spinning, right? And just trying to wrap up.
I
So,
know, and I talk so fast because I could go on and on and on about each one, but that's a
yeah,
whole nother conversation
well,
too.
right, and that's the point. It's a lot, so some people
Mhm.
might feel overwhelmed,
Well,
that they're
yes.
so far behind the curve of knowledge in this, and then we tend to get defensive in those situations, and we close our minds down, or and again
Mhm.
we just resort back to the comfortabilities. Well, I've
Mhm.
been living like this all my life, so and
And I'll deal with retirement whenever it comes. And
right,
that's what I hear a lot.
yeah.
I have money under my bed, I'm
Yeah.
good. Like,
Yeah. You know, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just never know. You might say you'll deal with it when you get to retirement, but retirement is too late. And then, you know, the next day is not promised. The next minute, the next hour is not promised to us. So,
Exactly.
you know, if we don't tackle some of these hard conversations and make some of these, you know, more progressive or positive or not really progressive moves, just these simple moves, you know, put
Mm.
these things in place
Yeah.
that can make our life better. It can make our family's life better, our children's life better.
Yeah.
You know,
And then knowing that the kids could do it at a young age, or the parents could do it for their kids at 15 days old to start their plan, that could be their retirement as well. If they start their
yeah,
as a baby
yeah,
plan, you put money to the side
yes,
for your own, you could borrow from your own policy from the baby's
yeah.
policy.
Yeah,
So
and look, and I know we're not trying to do that here in America as far as the government, but there are some countries in which their governments do that. You know,
yeah.
back in the
Mhm.
day, actually, when I spent some time in Austria, that was one of the things they do there. You know, by the time those kids, you know, graduate high school or what have you,
Yeah.
kids are millionaires.
6 figures, yeah, plus,
Yeah,
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 millionaires. If
yeah,
you fund it properly, your kid will be set by the time they're 20 years old,
yeah,
and they don't have to worry about nothing. Of course, they could become their own bank. They don't got to worry about getting any loans. They don't have to worry, and they get everything tax-free distributions.
yeah,
And that's the beauty of it. I mean, we could do it too, but our premiums are not going to be as low as it would back then.
yeah, yeah.
There's a certain time frame more on us being older. You
Hmm.
gotta put more in to see that compound interest if you were getting one of those strategies, one of those tools. But again, everything's different. So it's always key to, especially the graduates, to help them understand, to start them up this policy. So
Yeah,
start their retirement,
yeah,
start annuity, because yes, they're gonna get 401s, but then they see that little bit of money and they want to take it out. They
yes,
want to take it out, then they get penalized. And I
yeah,
know I'd done it
yeah.
before because I didn't know any better. I
Girl,
didn't know what I know now. And
girl,
I'm about to be
yes.
37 years old. So,
Girl,
it's never too late though.
it's never too late. And let's talk about that huge elephant in the room. And let's put a pin in it too, because I want to continue this conversation that I'm about to bring up. You know, and that's a lot of people who, you know, because the world is changing, right? COVID changed a lot of things. A lot of people are leaving their jobs, they're starting their own businesses or what have you, whether it's entrepreneurial pursuits or start, you know, physical business or online business online. Um,
Mhm.
and and a lot of people who are not about the right, who are very unethical, who are just, you know, trying to make a dollar, you know, for themselves, for their family,
Mhm.
out, you know, caring about people. A lot of people are being taken for their life savings, right? For their 401ks, for their pensions. I can't tell you how many of these folks out here, these gurus or leaders or what have you, that encourage you to go draw on your retirement or take this out, and
Mhm.
you know, and a lot of it, you know, they're taught this way, right? And so then, you know, then their students start saying this stuff and what have you. And I get, you know, taking a loan against something, but you know, cashing out your entire retirement and giving you the hope or the belief that you know, they're going to literally help you or help you do something or achieve something. And they're basically just taking that cash. I mean, as soon as you pass that money off and deposit it, I mean, it's, you know, it's
Yeah. Once soon as you pull it out, you get penalized.
yeah, so you know, it's about just being wise to those games, you know,
Yeah.
hip to those games. You know, it's nothing wrong with taking a little bit out of your retirement.
Yeah.
Like if you have, or if you're working with ethical people, with moral people,
Mhm.
um, you know,
Or just understanding what they have at work. A lot of people don't.
yes,
Whenever I talk to people, they're like, I
exactly.
don't know what I got. I know I got something. So I'm like, well, what do you know? What are you matching? What is your employer matching? And a
Right,
lot of people tell me that they put in more than what their employer does, and which is really not a good idea. But again, that's the lack of educating yourself and like
right.
reading the 401 package. And I know everyone has Fidelity,
Yeah,
or everyone has a certain one that the employer has, but again,
right.
that's just through that employee. But once you're gone, or you're terminated, or you retire, or you move, You
Mhm.
know, you could always pull it and roll it over to something else, or you could have it as have it preserved and protected. That's the
Yeah.
main thing. But again, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, absolutely, girl. I mean, and we've just been spitting all over the place today about so many different things. So, definitely
Yeah,
we'll circle back to all of these because, it's been a conversation about, about parents, and physical financial responsibilities, teaching your kids, them learning
ethical,
the
yes.
the
Yes.
business owner side, entrepreneurial pursuits, and at the core of life, sadly, is money, is
Yeah.
this, and those who have the haves and the have-nots, right? And usually the have-nots don't have the same knowledge, again, education or exposure or family legacy or history, of money, right?
Yeah.
Or know how to
Or
invest,
knowing the terminology, the
knowing the
basic
terminology, basic
of
terminology.
what a debit and a credit is. Knowing how to keep your credit intact, because credit is a big thing as well.
It is.
I wish I would have known that too long ago.
Yeah, girl.
But I
Well,
got this house, so I'm good.
girl,
And
look,
I'm
there you go. But girl, look, that's a whole nother conversation. Let's put
that's
a
a
pin
whole
in
nother
that one too,
conversation too.
because don't
Yes.
get me started on credit bureaus and all that stuff and that whole game, because that really is a game. That's a have
Yes.
and have nots game.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, let me get off my soapbox on that one.
That's a whole nother topic again.
So the topic, and that's soul healing that needs to take place
Yes.
to a lot of us because,
Yes.
and just learning not how to play some of these games. But okay, that's another topic.
Yeah. But again, and if a lot of parents or individuals don't know it and you want to teach your kids, learn it with your kids.
Yeah,
Sit down with them and learn it together. Get on a budget plan together. Where everyone write down their goals, their short, midterm, and long-term goals. If you're trying to teach your kids how to set up retirement, but you don't have one set up for yourself, that's a big sign. Okay, let's set you up regardless. So you're gonna make sure you're good. I'm gonna be good. So I'll set mine up, but let's set yours up. Something that along the lines where it's coming into play. Like make it happen, especially if your kid is working.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
give
So
them a responsibility. Have them pay a bill already
give,
too.
yes, give
Yes,
them responsibility.
and
Don't do
have them pay a
everything for
bill.
them. Don't do it all for them.
No,
Everyone has to learn, no matter the
what?
structure,
Yeah,
the
even being on the computer,
yeah.
going online,
uh,
finding the light bill, the phone bill online, making a payment using the debit card versus using a credit card.
yeah.
Knowing those basic things, that's big key.
So good.
I wrote down a little quote that I
Mhm.
read.
Okay.
It says, financial planning is a journey, not a destination. So by equipping your kids with the right knowledge and tools, you can help them navigate the world of finances with confidence.
And there's our mic drop.
Period.
There's our mic drop for today, sis.
Yes.
So good, so good. You guys need
So,
to watch this video back and
yeah.
definitely write down that quote and put it on your mirror, put it someplace so you'll remember
Yeah.
that Roxy just shared. Sis, anything else you want to say today to
No,
wrap
just
our conversation?
again, thank y'all for joining watching, and let us know if you have any questions regarding
Yeah,
how to set up, anything whenever it comes to finances, how to set up your own or for your kids. We're here to help. We're here to help.
yes.
In any way you want, or if y'all have any questions or have any remarks on what y'all want us to talk about, we'll do that as well. Just let us know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, sis, for that.
Yeah.
And folks, check us out on YouTube, on at Defining Paths Online. So youtube.com/ at Defining Paths Online. No dots, Defining Paths Online. Our website is definingpaths.online. And Roxy, do you want to tell them how to get in touch with you, sis?
Yes, just find me on Facebook. I do have a business page, Roxy Solutions as well. That's exciting. Go check my page out.
Yeah,
Um, and I have a business line. I need to print out business cards.
yeah,
That's my next thing. I had my old ones. I need new
yeah.
ones. But yes, Roxy Solutions, or just find me on Facebook.
Absolutely. And we'll make sure we put that in the caption also for the post.
Yes.
So All
Yes, we
right,
will.
folks. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. Reach out, ask questions, ask questions. We're accessible, we're real. That's why we're doing this, right? And we want to
Real
give
talk.
you the answers. All right. So thanks so
Yeah.
much for
Thank you
picking
so
up
much.
here.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.